Let me tell you something personal in this video. I was born in the 1980s, the only child of two brilliant, hardworking Chinese parents. Not because they didn't want more kids, but because they weren't allowed. The government made that decision for them, for me, for an entire generation. And now that decision, Deng Xiaoping's infamous one-child policy, is coming back to destroy China from the inside out. This is Deng's deadliest mistake, and I'm living proof. In a recent video, I broke down Deng Xiaoping's 4 fatal mistakes that set China on a path to collapse. It got great response, but I have a confession to make. I left out the biggest one. Call it a brain fart, or maybe the trauma of being a lonely only child in a government-mandated lab experiment. So here's the video I should have made. The one-child policy wasn't just a mistake. It was demographic suicide dressed up as reform. And today, China is paying the price with a shrinking population, a broken economy, and a generation that never got a sibling. First, how we got here. A nation of only children. Deng Xiaoping is often hailed as the great reformer, the man who opened China's economy, lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty, and brought market magic into a communist shell. But he also introduced the most socially catastrophic policy of the 20th century. Starting in 1979, the Chinese state began enforcing the one-child policy with brutal efficiency, forced sterilizations, coerced abortions, women jacked out of homes. This wasn't family planning, this was state control of your body, all in the name of economic development and population control. And then came the darkest chapter of all, one the regime doesn't want you to remember. 百日无孩, 100 days without babies, the campaign of silence and fear. In 1991, in the rural areas of Shandong province, the government launched a crackdown so brutal it earned a chilling name. 百日无孩, 100 days without babies. The goal was horrifyingly literal. Eliminate all illegal pregnancies and births within 100 days. Local officials, desperate to meet the quotas and appease higher-ups, they went on a rampage. Pregnant women were hunted down like criminals. Late-term abortions were forced. Newborns were taken from hospitals and killed. Homes were raided, villages terrorized. This wasn't population policy, this was state violence. This was a war against women's bodies and babies' lives. And for what? A demographic pyramid so broken it now threatens to collapse the entire Chinese economy. But here's the thing. It didn't need to happen. China's birth rate was already falling naturally. Urbanization and women joining the workforce were doing their job. But no, Deng and the planners wanted a shortcut. And like every shortcut in a dictatorship, it came with hidden explosive consequences. Fast forward to today, China is facing a collapsing birth rate, which is lower than Japan, a rapidly aging population. 1 in 4 will be over 60 by 2030. A shrinking workforce, a pension crisis, and a rising number of single men who will never find a partner because there just aren't enough women. This isn't a soft landing. This is demographic death spiral. And it's irreversible. You can't manufacture babies the way you manufacture iPhones. You can't command love, marriage, and fertility from a party directive. China has now gone from one child policy to have 3 babies, please, we beg you, offering cash handouts, longer maternity leave, and even slogans like give birth for the country. It's not working because you can't undo 40 years of fear, trauma, and economic pressure with a PR campaign. Let me bring this home. My parents were model Chinese citizens, university educated, middle class. They wanted 2 or even 3 children, but they couldn't. My mother used to tell me it wasn't our choice. We just had you, and that was it. No siblings, no cousins, just pressure. Pressure to succeed, pressure to care for aging parents alone, pressure to be the entire family tree or on one pair of shoulders. And multiply that by 400 million. Now, tell me this wasn't Deng's deadliest mistake. One child is leading to one collapse. Here's what makes this so damning. Deng wanted China to modernize, become rich and powerful. But he forgot the most basic truth. A country is its people. No people equals no future, no workers, no consumers, no innovators, no dreamers. You can't build the tallest skyscrapers and fastest trains, but if there are no kids to ride them, what's the point? Today, China is desperately trying to avoid the fate of Japan, but without Japan's wealth, stability, or global trust. And unlike Japan, this collapse is self-inflicted. So yes, Deng did many things right, but he made one irreversible, fatal decision. The one-child policy didn't just hurt families, it shattered China's future. And I should have said this in my last video. I left it out. But now I'm saying it loud. This was Deng's deadliest mistake. And I'm just one of millions who have to live with it.